It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom. It was the age of foolishness.
Sexuality or some rich or poor, what have we become? Are you a red or blue? A simple division, but all but true. Are you female or male? Are you allowed to be on sale?
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom. It was the age of foolishness.
It was the epoch of belief. It was the epoch of incredulity. It was the season of light. It was the season of darkness.
It was the spring of hope. It was the winter of despair. We had everything before us. We had nothing before us.
We're all going direct to heaven. We're all going direct the other way.
Definition says nothing about hate. 6 pieces of a cake all come together as one looking great. Come on now, you don't want to wait. We can be as one before it's too late.
Right-wing philosophers protecting abolitionist statue. They're here to protect our history and to protect you. They believe the sun never sets on the empire. Well, baby boomer battalion, that myth's about to expire. It's possible once we could have been classmates, but unlike you, I never bought into that fascist state hate, mate. All lives matter. Nobody disputes that. But this is not about you now. Try and understand that. You feel under threat, but I'm part of your story. We have more in common with the man from Brixton than any Eton educated Tory. You've lost all empathy and understanding. Your rage and your protest a mistaken tribute to the D-Day landings. Rule Britannia, Britannia built on lies, from the figures on the Brexit bus to those we're told we should despise. So boys, check your sources and your facts and teach your children well. Remember, St. George was not an Englishman and all fascists go straight to hell.
There are 2 types of people in this world, 2 sides to every story. Why do we have to divide when we're all on the same journey? Confine us to a tick box that none of us truly fit. Why is society conditioned to this? Are we really okay with this split? We are all unique individuals, all with our own quirky ways. So please stop with all the division in life as we live out the rest of our days.
It starts as fearmonger, to divide and conquer. But what if we conquered the rich and divided their wealth? Then who would be afraid? Men with nothing to lose, or the man who could lose everything?
One in 4 women and 1 in 6 men will suffer domestic abuse at some time in their lives.
Come on, everyone, grab a place. Sean, here you go. There we go. Amazing. And Wendy, I've got a plate for you. Amazing. Sustain estimates 8.4 million are living in food poverty.
Alcohol abuse is a factor in 30% of suicides each year.
One in 5 LGBT people have experienced a hate crime or an incident because of their sexual orientation or gender identity. %23% of the British workforce have been bullied at work. The TUC surveyed over 1,500 participants and discovered 52% have been victims of unwanted sexual behaviour at work.
What am I? A statistic? An undignified phrase that society has just boxed me in? A survivor? A woman? One more derogatory comment. One more bruise, but it was only an accident. Up against the wall. My vision's turning black. The last gasp of air leaving my blue-tinged lips. A shriek, my everything. She saved me. As I slumped to the floor in a heap. 6 years later, and my past still haunts me. Hashtag not all men. One too many men for me to be scarred for the rest of my life.
Oh, you're here. Come in. I've been expecting you. And don't be patronising. I'm the product of a Field 11 Plus system. If you don't know what that is, I'll tell you. It's when they put you in a room and set you a test which can map out your entire life. I wasn't expected to fail, but I did. So after secondary school, they sent us to learn a trade. I wasn't having any of it. I had dreams. Big dreams. No plan. And those dreams felt so unattainable. I've been quite academic, and I was sporty. But to fit in, to survive, I had to create a persona. A Jack the Lad character. I'm Maccas. That's me.
How can this be? My father now, rejecting his daughter, not because of a row, but because she's in a same-sex relationship. Don't get me wrong, this time he didn't flip. It's my choice. My pathway, he said. But by taking it, I'm losing him instead. Guttering and sadness this leaves with me. But at least he's still my dad, you see. I'll give him some space, let it sit with him. Surely he can't lose his daughter on this whim. Who's going to walk me down the aisle? Is this really worthwhile? We should be treasuring our time left. Life's too short to be in this mess. I bet you're wondering what path I took. It might be obvious to you by the way I look. I can't change my pathway because he doesn't agree. It's my life, and so I will be me.
Yeah, I finished the spreadsheets. Can I just ask, why is she on more money than me? I've been here for 5 years longer. Does that mean nothing? Yeah, so I've sent Bowden's defence, and then, yeah, I think we're meant to be having mediation. So then we are going to Northampton County Court, and I haven't got the set date, but I can find out. You fucking wanker. Get the figures for this one. So I'm not sure the exact figure, but I've just got a fee in for 5,720. Yeah, that's including VAT. Yeah, put your face in me tits on a night out, but won't give me a pay rise. Yeah, so I'm in all week, and then I can get all that stuff done for you. You fucking cunt. Sorry.
I love the beautiful game. I always have. I love the skill, I love the passion, I love the camaraderie, and I love the terrace humour. There's lots of things about the game that I don't like. For instance, how the super rich oligarchs are taking control of our clubs and how they don't have any connection with the community. And that's why I was over the moon. Look, I know it's a cliche, but I was over the moon when I heard that the fans had taken people power and, well, they'd used it to stop Abramovich, Kroenke, Levy, the Glazers, Sheikh Mansour and J.W. Henry from fucking us over.
The big six stopped in the tracks. No European Super League here.
This is where you come in. You didn't think you were getting away with doing nothing, did you? In a minute, I'm going to ask you to turn on your audio, but keep quiet. When you hear us chant, I want you to join in to support us, right? So when we shout, kick it out, I want you to join in and do that. And also, if we shout United, the same. Okay, turn your audio on now. We're going to give it a try. Okay, you ready? Kick it out, 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 kick it out. When I do that, you better stop, right? And the same way United, 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 United,
United.
Well, you sound a bit like Sunderland supporters, but anyway, we'll get on with it. Where was I? Aye, people power. It got me thinking, what if we could harness people power to change other things in football that aren't right? Like racism, homophobia, and sexism.
Premier League figures show 20% of football goers are female. There have been 25 incidences of matchday abuse in the professional game reported to both anti-discrimination campaign group Kick It Out and Women in Football so far this season. Women working in football have been told they're too attractive or they're too female to do their job properly. They don't understand the offside rule. I mean, come on, does anyone understand the fucking offside rule? They have been subject to sexual harassment and even violence in the football workplace, not to mention the misogynistic chants that many men believe is just a bit of banter.
Kick it out! 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 Kick it out!
During just the final 6 weeks of last season, a joint PFA and Signify study of online content identified more than 3,000 abusive messages aimed at Premier League players, 56% of which were racist. Of the players surveyed, 43% said they had experienced targeted racist abuse. Hold social media to account. Show them the red card.
Kick it out! Kick it out! Kick it out! Kick it out!
There are no gay footballers in the Premier League officially. Off the record, it's anyone's guess. Statistically, there must be dozens.
72% of football fans have heard homophobic abuse while watching live sports in the past 5 years. That's an increase on a similar survey conducted in 2009. Kick it out!
Kick it out! Kick it out! Kick it out! Kick it out! We need to be supportive. We need to become allies. We need to be united. United! United!
Hey, I'm not happy singing United. I can't bear them. I'm a Liverpool supporter. Hey!
Divided and sure. Some of the categories we can explore. Religion, race, sexuality, or some rich or poor. What have we become? Are you a red or blue? A simple division, but all but true. Are you female or male? Are you allowed to be on sale?
Here I find myself, struggling and isolated, feeling the loss of meaningful connection. The beginning had a novelty factor to it, keeping busy. I had a healthy routine, but as time dragged on, my enthusiasm's long gone, and now I'm digging deep to find the motivation to complete anything.
Time passes slowly and I wait, which I quite like. It's what I'm used to. We're all waiting for something to happen. My neighbour recently took up playing the ukulele, which, if you ask me, is hardly a musical instrument at all.
Not going out is a blessing. I feel safe behind my locked front door. Having a front door to lock. When I wake up, I realise that I'm in my bed, somewhere I can cook some food. That's happiness. There's not enough words to explain how happy I'm feeling.
2-bed loft apartment, the ad said, in leafy suburbia. A stone's throw from the most popular parks, public transport links, and excellent local amenities. It loosely translates as urban slum. Owned by middle class, middle-aged, fat cats. They're just looking to make easy money off those students who've got nowhere else to go.
You wouldn't believe all the comings and goings next door at any time of day or night, all manner of ne'er-do-wells, students and foreign types, no doubt.
I viewed it on Friday and on Sunday moved in, and on Monday I slept all day. I think having a place of your own to sleep is even more important than having food. When I was homeless at night, I would realise, oh, I haven't eaten today, because I was so overwhelmed about being homeless.
I've discovered that if I stand on my toes, on the stepladder, in the bathroom, with my head craned up through the skylight, I can actually see the light of day from that point.
I miss going out. I miss all the simple things in life. I miss human contact. A hug.
What you've got to remember is every time you hug a Tory toff, you're also hugging a Tory toff spouse, gardener, nanny, and fuck buddy.
I don't mind wearing a mask. I kind of feel like a superhero doing my bit by rules. Before all this started, I used to see people wearing masks, usually Asian people, and I'd wonder why. I know now.
The only time I'd seen anyone wearing masks, they were always Chinese. And I'd think, hello, what's wrong with you? It won't hurt, you know. This is good Lancashire air, the air that nurtured Gladstone and the Beatles.
The park is so busy. But what am I supposed to do? Where else can I go? I'm just minding my own business, breathing fresh air, enjoying the sunshine. The flat, it's usually cramped. It doesn't look like it now. I've caught you at a good time. But everyone's working from home, depending on the bandwidth, getting angry with each other. I'm better in the park, even if it's technically illegal right now. Who's passed these laws anyway?
Just recently, I've been hanging out with Jasmine Hobson and Tiffany Keegan. I don't know who they are, or whether they're real any more than I know if the Duke of Edinburgh was really real. Jasmine Hobson, she's the name on a park bench. Tiffany Keegan is a slag, if the graffiti at the bus stop is to be believed.
My journey was difficult. It was very stressful. When I came to the UK, I thought I would find something kind, but things would be better.
This country is full. It's overrun with foreigners. Public services can't cope. There's not enough housing for decent folk. The country needs to stop people coming here and boot out those who don't belong. Simple as.
Some people are just selfish, I suppose. They don't want to share.
In memory of all displaced persons who passed through or lived in this port. Saw that on a park bench too.
Sometimes a memorial or saying sorry just seems inadequate.
In Liverpool, the Irish-born population boosted by famine migration rose by 5% from 1841 to 1855.
In 1938, the UK Parliament agreed to allow 15,000 unaccompanied children to enter Britain as refugees from the Nazis. This is known as Kindertransport.
More recently, refugees have come to the UK from Bosnia and Kosovo.
Anybody can be a refugee. Refugees do not always sound or look like you expect.
Some British people believe that the country is full. Yet, according to research by the University of Sheffield, just 6% of the country is built upon.
I always wanted to be a mother, but a mother was never all I wanted to be. Cleaning, cooking, ironing, washing the pots, cleaning up other people's rubbish, cooking. Since when did lockdown mean a return to the 1950s?
I wonder if millennials ever stop to consider how ludicrous it is that they're paying more in rent each month than they would if they had a mortgage on the same property. I wonder if that ever occurs to them. They're working to pay off their landlord's mortgage and funding their landlord's lifestyle, all for the sake of trying to get a mortgage deposit together. I wonder if it occurs to them that this system is a bit weird. Oh well, I've got my own place.
Developing countries take 85% of the world's refugees, and yet the UK only takes in 1%.
So great, guys. We're going to return to our Jamboard. And what we'd really like for you to do is you can turn your cameras on and your mics back on. And I'd really love it. I'm going to play host because there's a fair few of us. So I'm going to read out the statements on the Post-it notes. And then if you can give me a great big cheer of a true or false. Can we practice that really quickly? So can we go true? Everybody say true. True. And we'll try to get the same with false.
False.
False. False.
Wow. It's almost as good as being in the room together. Okay, we'll start off top left. Developing countries host 85% of refugees. Do we think it's true or false?
True.
Sounds like a true, and you would all be correct. Congratulations. Okay. Controversial one. Foreigners are trying to change the UK into a Muslim country. How?
That must be true. That I've read it. Read it in the paper.
Very much false. How about this one? The country is full.
True.
I think I had a couple of trues there, guys. I'd like to encounter audience space now. Okay, very much false. In fact, what do we reckon? 6% of the UK is actually built on. Do we think this is true or false? So it's very much not full. Only 6% of the UK is actually built on. What a lovely leafy country we live in. Okay, well, how about this one? In 2019, the equivalent population of the UK was displaced across the world. Do we think true or false?
True.
We're kind of losing enthusiasm in our chat. The same amount of people as in the UK. How awful is that? The UK houses 6% of the world's refugees. Do we think this is false? Indeed, this was our own, one of our only two doctored statements, which is so 1% is housed in the UK. Just our last few things. So foreign citizens are taking all our benefits, costing the government millions. Very good, guys. That was actually taken from a political petition. And 1 in every 103 people around the world is either an asylum seeker, internally displaced, or a refugee. Do we think true or false?
True.
It is very true. Thank you all so much. Oh, and this one is false as well. Thank you so much for your wonderful chants. We're going to finish our performance now.
You see scroungers, we see people. You speak violence, we act peaceful. Scroungers, people, violence, peaceful. You see poverty, I see well. You see sickness, I see hell. Sickness, hell, poverty, well. We protest, we protest, we protest, we protest, protest, we protest, protest.
So what makes you think that we need another old Etonian in Parliament?
Well, you know, to that question, I think I just give the standard answer that people don't give a monkey where you come from. Give a monkey, 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 give a monkey.
You've a few against us, the masses. We seek justice, you fund fascists. Justice, fascists, you masses. We protest, 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 protest.
So what makes you think that we need another old Etonian in Parliament? Etonian in Parliament, 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 Etonian.
Of course, in the olden days, we'd be scrunched up and thrown into a waste paper basket, or ripped up into tiny pieces and just thrown away.
I wouldn't know. I'm not quite as old as you.
Oi, thank you very much.
Well, it's true. I'm a child of the digital age, so no quills and parchment. I was conceived on the ZX81.
Oh, that must have been uncomfortable.
It was, and painfully slow, though at the time, the speed seemed to take your breath away. That's progress for you.
Like capitalism. The more you have, Big Macs, Spanish holidays, and G-Plan sideboards, you always want more. But who the hell would want 2 G-Plan sideboards? Harry Simmons, perhaps.
I heard of somebody in the old days who was put on an open fire. A very painful way to go.
Thank the Lord for central heating.
Oh, and I'm forgetting.
What?
The dreaded shredder.
Oh, that really is curtains.
More like cat litter and papier-mâché.
All in all, when it's said and done, and you've been deleted, it's not that bad treading water in the cloud. I count my blessings.
So what are or were you?
I'm intangible, an idea in the mind of God, and the writer, God bless him. I was a nuance and context, but mainly a metaphor.
Yes, but what were you?
I was a greasy chip paper blowing down a back alley.
And what's that a metaphor for when it's at home?
Urban decay, poverty, and moral deviance. You know, all the jolly stuff. How about you? What was your moment that never was?
I had a walk-on part, one line at the end of a murder mystery. So not what you call high art, more light entertainment.
So a bit shitty then. Was it Amdram?
Oh no, it had value and meaning. I had value and meaning until the producer gave me the chop.
What was the line?
The fact is, Margot has shot herself. Without that, the play had no meaning whatsoever. It didn't make sense. I doubt anyone noticed, though.
I still have dreams and ambitions. Do you?
Yeah.
I've always fancied a walk-on part in Corrie. Nothing major. Maybe a figment of Ken Barlow's imagination, or a steamy scene on Uncle Albert's sofa. What about you?
Another walk-on part. 2 lines, maybe, but somewhere classy. I've always fancied the floral pavilion. That'd be nice.